very pleasant good evening, and we welcome you to Bakersfield, California for the California Community College Athletic Association Women's Softball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Jeff Stoynoff, Matt Folsom here with you from Bakersfield, getting ready for game number one. Everybody here from SoCal College Sports, Mike Zepeda will be joining us a little bit later. Emery Johnson, Matt Henson, of course, Jorge Zepeda. So the entire team is here, and Matt, let's bring in here a couple of teams as we get ready for game number one. Mount San Antonio College, College of San Mateo. Neither one a stranger here to the Final Four. In fact, these two teams met just 3 years ago here, the last time that Mount San Antonio College was here. They ran into College of San Mateo, but a couple of outstanding teams year after year.
You know, it seems in CCCAA softball, the cream always rises to the top, especially at Bakersfield. You got College of San Mateo back for their 5th consecutive visit. Mount San Antonio College looking to add one. They've got 4 state championships since 2000, 2003, 5, 7, and 9. It's an odd year, so maybe the odds are in their favor for Mount San Antonio.
To your point of the cream rising to the top, look no further than the 1 and 2 seeds in the North and South make it up here to Bakersfield or down here, depending on where you're coming from. As for College of San Mateo, you dropped in a terrific stat, and one that really leaps out at you. The 5th straight appearance here in the Final Four. They have not brought home the championship. I'm staying away from a Buffalo Bills reference here, but obviously the Bulldogs, one of the top programs in the state. But they're trying to close the deal here, and it's not easy to do.
Well, and it's never easy to do, but both these teams, the way they are going to do it is by winning this first game.
Yeah.
Very rarely does a team not win this game and win the state championship.
Yeah, that's one of the great wisdoms of the double elimination format is day one is absolutely huge. Consider, obviously, just to put some math to the situation, if you lose this game, you have to win 4 straight games over 2 days to get it done. Not easy to do, especially when you're taking on this kind of competition. Kayla Sock, meanwhile, has stepped in to lead things off for Mount San Antonio College. They will be the road team here in game number 1 later tonight. We will have game number 2. That'll be Cypress and San Joaquin Delta. The Chargers come in undefeated on the season.
No team has come in undefeated and won the state championship in the history of this tournament.
That
so
is
it'll be
astounding to me. It happened just 2 years ago. College of San Mateo came in undefeated.
And in 2013 or 11, I can't remember exactly. San Joaquin Delta, 2011, San Joaquin Delta came in with the great Katie Cotta in the circle.
Yeah.
They couldn't close the deal either, so it's tough to do.
That is an odd jinx to try and break, you would think, if nothing else coming in, that it would make you an overwhelming favorite, but it has not turned out that way. 3 balls and 1 strike, the count now on Sock, who comes in batting .371 on the season, 9 home runs, 35 runs batted in.
And if she gets on base, she's really fast. Leads the team in stolen bases with 35.
Yeah, I believe in 36 attempts, which is
stunning.
That is pretty efficient. And not the way you want to start if you're Madison Mercer on the hill, walking Sock. So speed aboard for the Mounties here in the top of the first as Sock leads things off with a base on balls.
Mercer had a great super regional last weekend at College of San Mateo. Flirted with a no-hitter in the championship game against Foothill, ended up with a 1-hitter. She had mastered all the teams, Taft, Sierra, and Foothill in that tournament.
Mercer comes in 23-4 on the season. We'll complete the numbers in a moment. The first pitch to Wilbon is outside.
It says connecting the stick.
1 ball and no strikes. Let's give you the numbers quickly on Wilbon. As she stands in from the left side, a .472 average, no home runs, 25 runs batted in.
Leads the team in average.
Away from first, will break for second. They'll never get her. Sock with the stolen base. The Mounties immediately have a runner in scoring position. Still nobody out here in the top of the first. And runs could be at an absolute premium in this matchup. We're talking about the number 1 and number 2 teams in the state in earned run average.
Lots of speed on the base path. It's what you want from your leadoff hitter. You got some big bats behind you. Let's see what Wilbon can do, leading the team in a batting average. See if she can move her up.
Now Sock breaks for third. Nobody covering, and Sock, as Sock steals third base. Looked like, I can't tell there. It looked like maybe Sock picked up on the fact that the defense wasn't entirely ready.
Well, they faked like they were going to bunt, or they were going to bunt, and she pulled back at the last second. Wilbon did, but Sock was already in motion. Got a great jump.
So Sock all the way over to third base now, still nobody out. Mercer into the line. Here's the pitch to Wilbon. That's high.
Allie Steins has a gun behind the plate as well. Interesting that she's given up 2 stolen bases.
Well, I think it's been a good break for Sock on both occasions as well. And obviously you can't afford to give that away. 3 balls and a strike now on Wilbon. Mercer ready. Here's the pitch.
Back to back.
Called strike 2. It was a late call from home plate umpire Ronnie Strange. And Wilbon, I think, thought she had first base, but denied on that one. So it's a full count to Wilbon, who will be followed by Taylor Jarique.
Those of you watching right now, you can see Mercer. She goes from sun to shadow to sun in her delivery.
Ground ball left side. Big hop for Wells, who's coming home. The tag in time. They get Sock at home plate. See if we can get the replay. And, yeah, we're going to have it. So let's take a look here. It was a bang-bang play at the plate, Matt.
No decision, indecision. Sock going all the way.
A good slide by Sock, but
yeah,
I think they got the tag just
down
did. There. And what a great play by Wells, and a gutsy one as well. But I think it speaks to the fact that, listen, 1 run here at this point in the season, when we're talking about the Final Four, can be so very critical. It's not exactly as though you could play for the big inning against someone like Madison Mercer.
Well, and what does every team say in the circle before the game starts? They say jump on top. Every team that's coming to bat says jump on top, and that they wanted to do that. There's certainly an advantage.
Yeah, you got Tiffany Kennedy Cummings going for Mount San Antonio College. She led the state in earned run average, so 1 run may be enough. And you have to imagine that College of San Mateo is aware of that.
Taylor Jarick steps up, leading the team in home runs. RBI, she had 48 on the year, 12 home runs.
Danger here for Mercer, who I think it's safe to say Mercer's still struggling here in the first inning.
She is.
Trying to find the control. I said I would give the numbers on Mercer, and I will. 23-4 on the season, an ERA of 1.03 in 150 innings. She's allowed just 91 hits, walked 57, struck out 85.
Is not an overpowering pitcher. You can tell by her strikeout totals. Doesn't have a lot of movement. Is accurate. That's the main thing about her, and she has not started off accurate.
That one right at the knees, a called strike.
So I commented last week into the Super Regionals. She was around the plate every game she pitched. Just not very far from the strike zone at all.
The 2-1 pitch. Right back up the gut. Backhanded by Wells, but she doesn't have a play. Well, Mercer got a piece of it, able to knock it down and keep it on the infield, but it's going to be an infield hit for Jarick.
Well, and you see that time and time again. I don't know how many times it's happened in the playoffs that I have seen a ball go back to the circle, off a knee, and it resulting in a base hit. Happens again.
So first and second. One out, and Larios will be the batter. Miranda Larios batting .370 on the season, a home run, 27 runs batted in.
I think you mentioned the Mounties are batting .405 as a team.
Well, I mentioned that. Well, actually, I haven't mentioned that yet, but they are. It's an interesting matchup. The top two teams in terms of earned run average, but two of the top three teams in batting on the season as well. So hard to say who has the advantage. The Mounties have had their chances here in the top of the first, but still haven't been able to come up with a run, but they have runners at first and second with one down. Meanwhile, quickly 2 balls and no strikes on Larios, and that's going to bring a conference on the mound.
Nicole Borg coming out to try to settle everybody down. Made a good play to get that lead runner in SAC.
Well, the first pitch on that bat was definitely up in the zone, and you have to wonder, obviously, given the gravity of the moment, you certainly couldn't blame Mercer if maybe she was overthrowing a bit. She's been wild.
And while teams don't like to talk about it, they're playing in the Final Four, so they're a little bit nervous, whether they want to admit it or not. Particularly in the circle, it's tough for a pitcher to come in on this stage and do what she wants to do all the time. Yeah. They need a few innings sometimes to get it together. And on the other end, at the plate, they need to see the pitcher. They're nervous as well. Ruby Rojas has always been aggressive, though, at the plate and out on the field.
You have to wonder also, I mean, obviously the situation, as we keep talking about, in this type of situation, that you don't have the luxury of thinking that you're automatically going to put 8 or 10 runs on the board, and it puts that much more pressure in the circle. Here's the 2-0 to Larios in there for a strike.
Of course, Mercer has the advantage of having one of the top hitting teams in the state behind her. And if you remember last year, they came in with a great fielding percentage and really made a lot of errors to start things off. They've toned that down this year in the regular season and the playoffs. We'll see if that carries true into the Final Four.
Off-speed pitch misses inside. 3 balls and a strike now on Larios. It started with a walk to Kayla Sock, who stole second and third, but was thrown out at home on a fielder's choice off the bat of Aaliyah Wilbon. Taylor Jarick followed with an infield hit, so it's first and second, 1 down. Fouled back. Larios not able to get around on the fastball from Madison Mercer, and we'll have a full count.
You can see that on the scoreboard? I look at our scoreboard. I'm going to have to start doing that.
Yeah, well, I'm counting. I'm depending on Maddie here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm depending on both Maddies. Here's the payoff pitch to Larios. Popped up, playable for Steins. Has it for out number 2.
Last thing Larios wanted to do. Just wanted to get it in play on the ground. Hit a line drive, hit a ground ball.
Well, early on, you already have the sense that it's an important half inning here for both teams. You have the feeling that the Mounties had their chances, but if Madison Mercer can get herself out of this jam here, they'll have to be feeling very good in the College of San Mateo dugout.
Yeah, the momentum can swing either way depending on what happens in the next few batters, and we're only a half inning in.
Yeah, we've just started. Mendoza will be the batter. Swings at the first pitch. Line drive to left, caught by Kawaki to end the top of the first. The Mounties threaten, but come up empty. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base. We're through half an inning, no score in game number 1. It's the 3C2A Softball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
And remember, everybody, if you are unable to join us in Bakersfield for the 3C2A Softball Championship, be sure to tell your friends and family that want to watch that they can catch all of this weekend's action on our YouTube channel at SoCal College Sports 1 or on our website, www.socalcollegesports.com. And be sure to follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is at SoCal College SPO. We'd love to hear from you. Let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, or just to say that you love us and you're enjoying what we're bringing you.
Bottom of the first inning from Bakersfield. Game number 1 of the 3C2A Softball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Tiffany Kennedy Cummings takes the mound for the Mounties. She's been more than outstanding this season, leading the state in earned run average. We'll give you the numbers on Kennedy Cummings in a moment. She'll face Megan Wells, Kristen Kawaki, and Allie Steins here in the bottom of the first. Cummings comes in with a record of 16-1, making her 30th appearance, her 18th start. In 106 1/3, she's given up just 54 hits, walked 34, struck out 121. So the numbers, as you would expect, dominating, but she'll have a supreme challenge here, taking on College of San Mateo, the top seed in the north. Wow, lined right to third, Williams with the catch to retire Wells.
Went right into her glove, Jeff.
So that'll bring up Kawaki. Williams in about 2/3 of the way at third base. That is a dangerous position there, Maddie. So Kawaki will stand in from the left side. The pitch from Kennedy Cummings popped into shallow center. And it's SAC moving back to put it away for out number 2. And that'll bring up Steins quickly, 2 up, 2 down for the Bulldogs.
Did want to comment, they did switch made a pitching change.
Yeah, absolutely.
They dropped the DP.
So it's Raquel Espinoza
in the circle.
Okay, so it'll be Espinoza. Thank you for that correction. And I see that we got that from the live chat as well. So want to quickly update that. Thanks very much. It's Raquel Espinoza on the mound, so we'll give you the numbers on Espinoza. Also outstanding this season, a record of 16-1, an ERA of 2.15. First offering outside to Steins, a ball and no strikes. Espinoza in 104 1/3 has allowed 68 hits, walked 44, struck out 128. Unlike the other 3 teams in particular, it has definitely been a two-headed monster of sorts for Mount SAC in the circle this season. and Espinoza obviously a big part of that, but not seeing one starter particularly with a lot more appearances. And in fact, if you look, Kennedy Cummings has 29 appearances, and Espinoza has 23.
Well, you look at the stats for both of them. They're like two sides of the same coin. Extremely even on their stats.
Stein's behind on that one. So Espinoza retires the first two. Base is empty here for Steins.
And we had our first pitching infraction. There's a delay of game on Espinoza.
I don't know why she would want to slow down at this point. Inside corner called strike. 2 strikes now on Steins. Let's give you the number on Steins. Batting .459, 5 home runs, 37 runs batted in.
Leading the teams in the team in doubles and triples, so she can move as well.
Foul back to the screen, a good cut for Steins. Still a 2-ball and 2-strike count. Gabby Zucchiotti would be next if Steins can keep it alive here in the bottom of the first.
Gabby Zucchiotti, the most complete player I saw in the North this year. One of the most complete players I have ever seen in the North.
In on the hands, that one rolls just foul. So 2 balls, 2 strikes remains the count on Allie Steins. Well, this is interesting. Obviously, it's not a big surprise to see them going with Espinoza by the numbers, but obviously it highlights what could potentially be a big advantage for the Mounties this weekend, as they'll have Kennedy Cummings to come back completely fresh in their next game. That one cued toward the circle. Espinoza will take care of it herself to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. Are they going to call that a foul ball? It looked like it was off her foot.
It did.
Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a foul ball.
We don't even need the replay to show that. Just take our word for it.
Well, we know you didn't need the replay. Somebody up here needed the replay.
You know, and looking at the stats and compiling the stats, I haven't seen any South teams play this year. And looking at the stats, there is really only one team that has a 2-headed monster in the circle, and that's Mount San Antonio. So you're right, Jeff. That could definitely be an advantage for the Mounties.
Off speed low. Full count now on Steins. Well, in this type of format, it remains to be seen. But clearly, 2 pitchers are not in this situation still, as we talked about in the top of the first. A loss here, extremely detrimental to your chances because, again, got to go 4-0. Slow roller on the left side. SAC with the strong throw, not in time. Steins legs out the infield hit. The inning will continue with a runner at first and 2 down.
Steins has 11 stolen bases, but that does I don't think that's a good indication of her speed and her ability to move on up.
Well, I'll tell you, Steins batting from the left side was probably the difference right there in beating that play.
Now, I mentioned the person stepping into the box right now. The most complete player I saw this year. She can hit for average. She can hit for power. Leads the team in. I think she's 4th in the state in batting average.
At 556. Yeah, 3rd in hits.
Can hit with power. She hit 2 monstrous home runs against Sierra in the Saturday winners bracket game last week at the San Mateo Super Regional.
Cues that one foul. No balls and a strike. The count. Aaliyah Wilbon in left. Bree Maikai in center. Alyssa Rasso in right. Kristen Williams at 3rd. Kayla Sock at short. Miranda Larios at 2nd. Tony Mendoza at 1st in the battery. Taylor Jarique behind the plate. And Raquel Espinoza on the mound. Sky to left. Wilbon moving in and has it to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit. No errors, 1 left. Through 1, no score. College of San Mateo and Mount San Antonio College. It's the 3C2A championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. So, Matt, I have a question here as we bring it back for the top of the second inning. Bree Maikai leading things off for Mount San Antonio College. Before the game, it was announced that Tiffany Kennedy Cummings would be starting. Now, Raquel Espinoza initially listed as the DP, then starts. Can you talk through, for those that might not be familiar with why that decision is made? What is behind that move?
I'll do my best. There are 10 people in the lineup when it's announced. The pitcher was listed as the flex player. She was announced as the pitcher, the flex player.
High pop on the infield, playable for Wells.
And the DP was Espinoza, the designated player. That means she's not out on the field, just like the DH in baseball. Once the game started, the 10th player, which was Tiffany Cummings, Kennedy Cummings, was dropped from the lineup, and the DP became the pitcher. So all of a sudden there are only 9 players. So that flex player, and she can go back in. That flex player was dropped from the lineup to make room for Espinoza in the actual batting lineup. So it's very common. They'll announce that, and then they make that switch.
And so to follow it through then, if you're in the Mount San Antonio College dugout, what is behind that move? Why do they elect to do it, to play it that way?
You know, a lot of times it's a strategic thing. I think more than anything else, they're looking at the bat in the lineup as a strength, and the combination of Espinoza as a pitcher and a bat has been beneficial all season long.
Rosso at the plate, meanwhile.
But it's one of those weird things. It's one of those weird, quirky things that's inherent in softball. Some people use it as a strategic ploy. I'm going to have this pitcher. You know, you're talking the North and the South. They haven't seen each other all year long.
Yeah. Yeah, a fascinating turn, as it turns out. And Espinoza solid in the bottom of the first. One low and inside. Second walk issued by Madison Mercer. This one to Rosso, and the Mounties have another runner at first. One out.
But keep in mind, Espinoza is the pitcher. If she were to get into trouble and they want to put Kennedy Cummings back in, they can keep Espinoza's bat in the lineup and have Kennedy Cummings back in the circle, have 10 people in the lineup, and it doesn't cost them a substitution. Basically, they can use that 10th player as a strategic device, particularly when it comes to pitching.
Pitch inside.
A lot of gamesmanship up here at the championships.
Yeah.
Have I confused everybody? Did I make it any clearer? I'm confused now.
You might as well be speaking German to me, although we do have somebody on staff that can speak German.
Well, I was not speaking German.
Yes, could you run through that again in German,
if
you wouldn't mind? Back through the box, a base hit. Espinoza with a single. Runners at first and second. One down. The Mounties threaten again here in the second. Christian Williams coming to the plate.
Williams now the 9-hole hitter. 333 on the year.
Williams with a terrific play in the field in the bottom of the first. Catching a shot off the bat of Megan Wells. 3 home runs, 17 runs batted in for Kristen as she stands in from the right side. That one inside. Did it get a piece of her?
It hit her.
So Williams hit by the pitch. And now the bases are loaded, still only one out.
And we might see Nicole Borg again.
Kayla SAC, who walked her first time up, will be the batter. Mercer in all kinds of trouble. Put a couple on in the first, but able to wriggle out of the jam. But now she has loaded him up with only one out, and here's SAC, a dangerous bat with 9 home runs, 371 average. First pitch in there for a strike.
Bases full of Mounties.
SAC with a walk in the first, stole second and third. That one pulled foul. No balls, 2 strikes quickly for Mercer. And you talked about in the first inning, Madison Mercer, not necessarily a strikeout pitcher, but how huge would a strikeout be here for the Bulldogs with 1 out and the bases full.
And she's got to be really careful where she places this. She does not want to give SAC anything to hit.
SAC, for her part, did strike out 14 times on the season. That led the Mounties. Here's the 0-2. Outside. Nice play by Steins. Stabbing that one.
Stein's a good technical catcher back there.
Ball and 2 strikes on Kayla SAC. Mounties trying to break through here in the top of the second in a scoreless game. Here's the 1-2. Ground ball through for a base hit. 1 run will score. Espinoza going to hold at third, but the RBI single by SAC gives the Mounties a 1-0 lead.
And that's just what SAC wanted to do, put the ball into play. Defensively, the Bulldogs were moved over. The shortstop was moved over to the left and hit it right back in the hole. Scored a run. And that brings up the dangerous Wilbon.
And the base is still loaded. So Madison Mercer still in a jam. First pitch to Wilbon, first pitch swinging, and she fouls it back to the screen. No balls, 1 strike. Espinoza at third, Williams at second, SAC at first.
And we talked about Wilbon being the team leader in batting average and hits on the year. Hit right now would really be beneficial for the Mounties to add to their 1-0 lead.
Here's the pitch, bouncing ball. Wells gonna come home in time. Gets Espinoza at the plate. Another good throw from Wells. How about this? The last time she did that, Wilbon at the plate. So those two continue to play pepper. But
Yeah.
Wells with a terrific play and another good decision, getting the lead runner.
And that was just in time.
So Wilbon on a fielder's choice again. The base is loaded, now 2 down. We talked about, could Mercer wriggle out of the jam in the first? She did with no damage, and I'm sure she'd be elated to get out of here with 1 run if she can, but she's got to get by Taylor Jarique.
I think the entire Bulldog team would do cartwheels if they can get out of this with only 1 run across.
Big situation here for Jarique, who singled in the first. Off-speed pitch freezes Jarique in there for a strike.
She doesn't do it often, but when she does, it's effective. Not a strikeout pitcher. Definitely not a strikeout pitcher. She relies on her defense.
Jarique led the Mounties in home runs and runs batted in on the season.
Could add to that total right now.
Fastball just outside, evens up the count at a ball and a strike. Miranda Larios waits on deck. Jarique trying to keep it going. The Mounties already have a run here in the top of the second. Inside, nearly hit her. And called a strike. Well, to be fair, it looked like a tailing fastball, but
It had to have been.
it really, that almost hit Jarique. Take a look at it again.
It's close.
And Jarique's right on top of the plate,
That
obviously.
was not close.
Ronnie
No way
Strange.
that's a strike.
That's Mike Cepeda.
Driven to left. Kotla moving over, has it to retire the side.
And
Mike never one to hold back.
No, never.
1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 3 left on base. The Mounties draw first blood as we head to the bottom of the second. Mount Sac 1, San Mateo nothing. It's the 3C2A Softball Championships on SoCalCollegeSports.com. bottom of the second in a 1-0 game. The Mounties scratch one across in the top of the inning. Jordan Davis, Samantha Dean, Lexi Riccardi due up against Raquel Espinoza here in the bottom of the second for the Bulldogs.
Davis's second visit to the Final Four. One of my favorite players. Has great personality. Loves to dance. Whenever they visit Sierra, we call her the dancing queen.
Is that an ABBA reference? You know, it really needs to be.
She doesn't. She didn't. I mentioned that. And she
My
says,
dad
Who?
loves ABBA.
Hey,
Who
listen,
doesn't?
Yeah. A ball and no strikes. Big swing and a miss. Davis can't catch up to the high heat. It's a ball and a strike now. Davis comes in batting .397. 4 home runs, 46 runs batted in. Good look at Espinoza. That one fouled back to the screen. A ball and 2 strikes. Espinoza with a fairly uneventful first inning. Allowed 1 hit. But no runs on the board as she works on Davis.
Davis a threat when she's on base. She knows what to do. Very heady player, very intelligent.
The 1-2 pitch from Espinoza. Got her. Espinoza back to the fastball. Fans Davis, and that'll bring up Dean. 1 down and the base is empty.
Samantha Dean. Monstrous home run last weekend against Sierra. This team hit 5 home runs in a 13-4 5-inning win against Sierra. They can certainly put it over the fence when they have to. Samantha Dean with one of those blasts.
Dean stands in, batting .387. First pitch on the outside corner. Espinoza starting to deal. Jumps ahead of Dean, no balls and a strike. Samantha, 3 home runs, 37 runs batted in on the season.
407 team batting average. That's pretty monstrous when you think about it.
Off speed, and Dean out in front, fouls it away. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
Of course, as long as Nicole Borg has been there in their 5 consecutive trips to the Final Four, they've been known for their hitting more than anything else. Their ability to put the ball into play. They are not afraid to swing the bat. They are the epitome, what Sue Enquist said last night at the banquet here at Bakersfield College. When in doubt, swing. Just like that. When in doubt,
straight
swing.
Back. Dean had a good cut. Stays alive. Riccardi waits on deck. Just underway in game number 1. First of 2 here tonight. First of 7 potentially for the weekend. And we'll have them all for you here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
You might as well just say 7. I don't think it's been.
You don't think it's been
I don't think it's
6
been fewer than 7 in the 14 years I've been doing this.
Interesting, because I feel like baseball, it's hard to say, you get a little bit of both, but often ends on
5th year straight, we're going to be doing the baseball championships next week at Fresno.
just missing.
Just.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the count.
Folsom,
now on Dean.
Folsom, you going to make the trip? Probably not. Maybe?
I'd love to.
Can we get a maybe out of you?
I get a maybe. I'll make it. Yeah, heck yeah. Get me a tent.
Well, that's where we're going to be.
Yeah, we're going to be in a makeshift canopy.
Here's the 2-2, high. Full count now on Dean, and this has been a terrific at-bat for Samantha Dean, who was quickly down, no balls and 2 strikes. But she's fought all the way back to a full count.
You know, Fred Rogan has a great sound clip on his radio show. I'm the Dean.
The Dean?
And when I see Samantha Dean at the plate, that's a sound clip that goes through my head.
Can we get her to say that?
Can we get the sound clip on the broadcast every time she gets a hit?
Here's the payoff. Dean works the walk.
Maybe we should get Emery on that.
He might.
Since he's down there on the field.
He's doing a great job with camera work. Emery Johnson. Emery Johnson, happy to say, going to be going to play basketball or play baseball at the 4-year level. He's a pitcher. He's a big boy, about 6'6", 6'7". Go-to curveball.
Does that count as average size here at SoCal College Sports? Since you're 6'10"?
Well,
he's not even the tallest guy here.
Not many people know that I'm 6'10". Remember, everybody, we're on YouTube this year, so if you have the YouTube app on your phone or a YouTube-enabled device such as an Xbox One or an Apple TV. You can upstream this to 1080p and higher resolution on your big screen TV. Search our website, or actually search our channel on YouTube, SoCal College Sports 1. That's one word.
We recommend that you do that except when we're on the talent cam shot.
Yeah, if you go to the talent cam shot, in fact, just turn it off and just go audio only.
Scale it back to standard definition. A late break for second. Dean in there with a stolen base.
And Dean's got some wheels.
She does.
Actually, Dean just outran the ball there on the throw from Jariq.
She got a good jump. And Lexi protecting at the plate, swinging at a pitch that was like 2 feet out of the strike zone.
7th steal. Hasn't been caught on the season. Samantha Dean now at second. Still only 1 out. Riccardi at the plate. Foul back to the screen.
It's a hot one today. First hot day we've had all year, at least is my experience.
Yeah, we're gonna have 3 hot ones in a row.
Yeah, this is the cool one for this weekend.
What was the temperature at game time? Like 90, 88, 85?
Something where you needed sunscreen.
Yeah,
for sure.
No balls, 2 strikes the count on Riccardi. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Riccardi down on strikes. 2 down, and that'll bring up Lauren Quirk. Quirk batting .400 on the season, 2 home runs, 37 runs batted in. She'll try to pick up Samantha Dean.
Has a good eye at the plate. Good eye at the plate. Leads the team in walks with 19 on the year.
Quirk digs in from the left side. Espinoza rocks and fires. Inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Emily Kotla waits on deck if Quirk can keep it alive. Tailing inside, and they're going to say it caught the inside corner. Well, I think it's safe to say that Ronnie Strange has had a generous inside corner.
On both sides of the plate.
On both sides of the plate so far. 1 ball, 1 strike on Quirk.
Espinoza has lots of movement.
Here's the pitch high. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Mount San Antonio College known for their pitches with movement. You know, they've historically done that. When Kelly Ford was the coach back in 2003, 2005, 2007, 2009 state championship, she had an array of pitchers who had movement on their pitches.
2-1 pitch. Center field, Maikai moving over and has it to retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. We're through 2 complete. Mount San Antonio College with the 1-0 lead over San Mateo. It's the 3C2A Softball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Heading to the top of the third, the Mounties with the 1-0 lead. They'll have Larios, Mendoza, and Maikai up against Madison Mercer. Larios in the first, fouled out.
It was the
first pitch
foul.
Inside.
Last thing she wanted to do was she had base runners.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, Mercer ready now. Here's the pitch. Tries the outside corner and gets it.
Best pitch of the game, in my opinion, for Mercer.
Yeah, first one she really located well. It's a ball and a strike now on Larios. Mercer tries the fastball low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Looked like she's settled down. She's closer to where she wants to be in her placement.
Yeah, she has faced 12 batters in the first 2 innings.
Well, Mount SAC has stranded 5 runners in the first 2 innings. She's had a lot of base runners.
Driven to center. Kawaki moving back. It's off the wall. This will be extra bases for Larios, who slides in with a double. Kawaki gets a little turned around, trying to find that one in center field.
Well, I think that's the first time we've seen the sun play into a fielder trying to make a play on a ball.
Not an easy play.
Not an
that
easy.
was a drive off the bat of Larios.
But I don't even think she saw it.
So another runner in scoring position. The Mounties continue to put runners on base against Madison Mercer, who has had her struggles, but so far has managed to at least hold the Mounties to only 1 run in a 1-0 game. That one skips in, blocked by Steins. A ball and no strikes on Mendoza, who flew out to left back in the first.
Mercer mixed up Steins on that pitch. They're going to try to get together to keep that from happening with a runner on. Don't want to get anything behind you. Lots of base runners, still only 1-0 lead for the Mounties here in the top of the third.
Mercer takes some time now. She's ready. Here's the 2-1 pitch, well outside. And now some of the control problems starting to creep back in for Mercer, who's down in the count, 3 balls and a strike.
Steins wanted her to go outside with that, but not that far. If that's an understatement, maybe.
3-1 pitch, fouled away. Mendoza looked like tried to go the other way. Couldn't handle the fastball. Count goes full.
Jim Fisher, the head coach of San Joaquin Delta, played in the next game, returning the foul ball to the ball caddy.
The 3-2. Cued towards short. Wells up with it. Guns it across to get Mendoza. Meanwhile, Larios holds at second. 1 down, and that'll bring up Maikai.
Wells, the defensive player of the game so far.
She's had a busy day at short, and she's been good. Maikai popped to short. Speaking of Wells, her first time up. Mercer into the wind. Fastball high. Mercer, I think, slowing the pace here, Matt.
She is.
A ball and no strikes. And that pitch low. You know, this strikes me as a good veteran move, too, because oftentimes in any sport it would seem that one of the first things that happens when you're struggling is you start to speed up. And I think that Mercer making an intentional effort to try and slow down.
Especially when, with the amount of base runners they've had in the first 2 innings. First 3 innings now.
Here's the 2-0 pitch, well inside. Well, if you're looking for good news, if you're College of San Mateo, they do have first base open with a 3-ball and no strike count on Maikai and Rasso due up. And maybe a little bit of activity in that College of San Mateo bullpen.
There is.
Fastball low. Ball 4. Another walk issued by Mercer. That is the third walk given up by Madison Mercer to go along with a hit batsman. So runners at first and second. One down. Alyssa Rasso will be the batter.
And, Jeff, we do have activity in the bullpen for the Bulldogs. We'll get a number up for you shortly.
Looks like Morgan Jones.
So the feeling is they can't afford to wait, perhaps, on Mercer. A ball and no strikes as Mercer misses again inside. Rasso drew a walk.
Jeff, I know you and I were talking about it coming up here. And, you know, this is two teams that feature the best ERA in the state as a team, but also two teams that can have big innings on you because they both lead the state in batting average as well. So two teams that hit well, two teams that pitch well. Yeah. Which one are we going to see first? And Mount SAC has already struck first blood, looking for more here in the third.
Yeah, the Mounties have had an outstanding season, a record of 40-1 against all teams not named Cypress College on the season. They were 0-2 against Cypress, but overall a record of 40-3, winners of the South Coast Conference. So well represented here. High pop foul territory on the left side. And did Quirk make the catch? She did.
Great play. Could not go any further into foul territory.
Let's take a look at that one again. See if we can get Quirk. Making the catch over by the fence. Just enough room. So Rasso retired. 2 down, runners at first and second. How many times have we said it? Now Mercer again, 1 out away from getting out of another jam.
And sooner or later, that catches up to you against good teams. 3 up, 3 down inning would be great.
This would be quite a Houdini here in the 3 innings here to get out of this
If a double play ball is a pitcher's best friend, what's a ball like that? Like an acquaintance?
I'll tell you something. That was more than an acquaintance for Madison Mercer.
It's like a one-night stand.
Espinoza stands in, singled her first time up. That one way high, and Steins able to get up there and keep it in front of her. A ball and no strikes. Espinoza singled and scored in the second. This would be, if Mercer's able to get out of it, it would be 7 runners left on base in the first 3 innings, and you can just feel that kind of stat coming back to bite you later in the game. Long way to go, but that is enormous missed opportunity. Popped into shallow left. Wells moving back, and she's got it. Mercer wriggles out of another jam. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 more left on base. We head to the bottom of the third. The Mounties still have a 1-0 lead here in the 3C2A Championships on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Bottom of the third inning from Bakersfield. Game 1 of the 3C2A Softball Championships on SoCalCollegeSports.com. College of San Mateo, the top seed in the north, with Emily Kotla, and then the top of the order, Megan Wells. and Kawaki due up here in the bottom of the third. Kotla stands in, shows bunt, pulls it back, 1 ball and no strikes.
The bubbly Emily Cotley. I mean, if you looked up bubbly in the dictionary, there would be her picture. She is bubbly.
Batting .245. I'm guessing if she's bubbly that she also likes to dance.
She does like to dance.
That is just an assumption on my part.
Last year she did the live stats. She redshirted last year, did the live stats up in the press box for College of San Mateo.
Takes a swing at that one, a ball and a strike. Kotla comes in batting .245 on the season.
Gets into the lineup, and what does Nicole do? She recruits another Emily to run the live stats. So if you want to learn the stat business, if your name is Emily, go to College of San Mateo.
I feel like I'm shut out. A ball and a strike now on Kotla. Espinoza winds and delivers outside. 2 balls and a strike. Well, the Mounties have been all over the base pass, leaving 7 runners on base in 3 innings. College of San Mateo managed to put just 2 on base, 1 in each inning. But so far have come up empty. Haven't mustered a whole lot of offense against Espinoza so far. 2-1 pitch, that one fouled straight back again. Kotla with a pretty good hat.
The San Mateo lineup is the kind of lineup, however, once they get rolling, once they figure things out. You look at Steins and Zucchiotti and Davis and Dean, they can really put some numbers up quickly.
Yeah, usually the real test is when that second time through the order, through the meat of the order, can really hurt you if you're the opposing team trying to pitch to them.
And as you talked about, Matt, these teams, the South and the North, none of them have played each other all season. So we're talking about first look at Raquel Espinoza for the entire lineup. So the second time through will be an interesting tale to tell here in the next couple of innings.
To your point, Mike, after this pitch.
Here's the payoff. Again, foul back. Kotla stays alive.
Oh.
Off of Ronnie Strange's noggin. He looks like he's okay.
I was waiting for Mike to say knock some sense into him, but he just didn't. So
no, he's been a lot better.
Okay, good. To your point, Mike, especially with a pitcher with movement like Espinoza, it does often take one at-bat to figure out where that ball's going when it leaves her hand. So you're absolutely right. Second time, a good team like San Mateo can make adjustments based on one at-bat.
Kotla showing bunt on the payoff pitch, and again fouls that one back. It looks like Espinoza trying to go to the high fastball, but can't get it past Kotla, who continues to fight him off. I also detected there that Ronnie Strange behind the plate turned around a little bit faster on the foul ball back to the screen. I think he's made the adjustment.
You're only as good as your ability to make adjustments in this sport, no matter where you are.
3 balls, 2 strikes on Kotla. That one low, ball 4. Kotla with a leadoff walk.
Good.
See if College of San Mateo can make something of this opportunity. They have the leadoff man aboard, and Wells coming to the plate.
Good eyeball, Emily Kotla. That was, I'm not sure I would be taking that on a 3-2 count.
Wells hit it right on the screws her first time up, lining it hard, but Kristen Williams in at third base, able to snare it for the out.
Megan Wells batting .496 on the year.
She hit it hard the first time up. They're in at first and third with Kotla at first. Bunted back toward the circle. Williams scoops it up and goes to first. Wells with the successful sacrifice, however, moves Kotla to second.
And they would have gotten Kotla if she had gone over to second base with that. Williams looking to first automatically. Not talking a lot because they had Kotla. She got a terrible jump. She actually hesitated, took a stutter step before heading down to second.
Well, that's a break for College of San Mateo, and obviously in Kotla's situation, you have to imagine that on contact there, her move's pretty straightforward. She just got a break for second, but a little bit of a slow start, but ends up at second anyway on the successful sacrifice. That'll bring up Kristen Kawaki. First pitch, and Kawaki chops it foul. Kawaki popped to short her first time up. Kawaki came in batting .383.
Kawaki, lots of speed. Has the ability to beat out a bunt if she decides to do that here.
Kotla with two steals on the season.
Not a threat.
In 2 attempts. A bunt again. There's a one-hopper. Williams again goes to first. They can't handle the throw. Everybody's safe. Kotla rounding third. She'll come in to tie the game. And I think that's just going to go as straight as an error.
Yes. She may have beaten that out, but I don't think you can go against an error on that. Williams just – and you could make a case for either the first baseman, Mendoza, or the third baseman, Williams, getting charged with that error. We're going to go with Williams.
I believe it was Larios who moved over to cover at first base. And the throw was a little wide, but not in the dirt. Check with Andrew Wheeler. And
he's going to credit it with E5 on that one.
Okay, so they'll call that on Williams. The throw a little bit wide. Kotla comes in to score, and we're tied at 1.
This is the Final Four. You got to grab that at first base.
Steins will be the batter. First pitch inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Espinoza has not faced anything in the way of adversity here in the first couple of innings, but the 1-0 lead erased, and now Kawaki at first in a tie game.
And you really have to look at the complexion of the game and how it's changed now. Stranding 7 runners, Mount SAC still had the lead. College of San Mateo getting out of jams every single inning, and now they tie it up. Where do we go from here? What's the psyche as a result of this change right now as a result of the error?
2 balls, no strikes, the count on Steins. Kawaki at first after reaching on the air. Ground ball back through the box, knocked down. They'll go to first in time to get Steins. No, okay, let's correct that. They're going to say that Steins beat it out.
And just like we talked about in an earlier inning, the ball went back to the circle off Espinoza, and that delays the ability for the infield to make the play.
Yeah, I thought that Larios had enough on the throw, but Steins, good hustle, able to leg it out for an infield hit. So still only 1 out, now runners at first and second.
And here comes Coach Ruby Rojas.
I went to middle school with her.
With Ruby?
Small world.
It's a small world.
Where was that?
That
Mike?
would be MacArthur Intermediate. Check that. I believe
Take
it's
a look at the replay here.
MacArthur Fundamental, I believe.
Bang, bang play at first, and Steins able to just leg it out.
It's a great job by Matt Henson, our technical director today here at SoCalCollegeSports.com. He'll be with us this week and next week, of course.
We'll see if San Mateo can take advantage of their opportunity here with a couple on and only 1 out. And Gabby Zucchiotti coming to the plate, and the Bulldogs have the player at the plate that they want.
Once again, hits for average, hits for power, has all kinds of speed. She can get down to first base as well. If she wants to lay it down, watch out for her beating out a base hit.
Yeah, another left-handed bat. That's 3 in a row in this lineup, and it's already made a difference on a couple of infield hits. That one fouled away on the left side.
Not only is she great at the plate, she's great out in the field too. Great base runner, great defensive player, all-around player. The NorCal Player of the Year, which almost automatically seems to come from College of San Mateo, that NorCal Player of the Year. He has the last couple, that's for sure.
Ground ball left side, knocked down by SAC, but everybody's going to be safe. See if that's called an infield hit. It was a hard hit ball.
She misplayed it.
See if we can get the call there from you, Matt. Let me know.
What do we go with that? We wanted the E6, yeah.
Okay, so SAC commits the second error of the inning by the Mounties, and the bases are now loaded, still only 1 out. That'll bring up Jordan Davis. She struck out her first time up.
Okay, Jordan would be the first one to tell you she's been struggling at the plate the last part of the season. Can she come through here? She has not been playing to her level of expectation, her potential last month of the season.
First pitch high, a ball and no strikes on Jordan Davis. Davis came in batting .397, 4 home runs, 46 runs batted in. An opportunity here to put the Bulldogs in front as they have the bases loaded with only one down.
See what the Dancing Queen can do here. See if she can deliver.
Pitch outside. 2 balls, no strikes on Davis.
No place to put her. Unless you want to put her at first base and have a run come in. I don't think you want to do that.
You need to put up the Barry Bonds numbers, I think, for that to happen. 2-0 pitch, high and outside. Davis way out in front, as you talked about, Matt. No place to put Jordan Davis. Wheels starting to come off here for the Mounties at the bottom of the third.
They sure are. Of course, they have the luxury of a stud pitcher who can come in to replace a stud pitcher. Crucial pitch right now.
Here's the 3-0. Inside. Davis walks on 4 pitches, and the Bulldogs have the lead.
RBI walk.
Still loaded. Samantha Dean coming to the plate. Dean had a terrific at-bat her first time up, drawing a walk. Eventually stole second and was stranded at second base in the second inning.
We've got action in the Mountie bullpen down there. I'm going to assume that's Tiffany Kennedy Cummings, who was listed as the starting pitcher, as the flex player, got dropped. For Espinoza, who was in the DP spot in the starting lineup.
Well, Espinoza, it's been a frustrating half inning. A couple of errors behind her have not helped the Mountie cause.
Well, you can see what happens when you walk the leadoff hitter. It never is a beneficial thing. She walked the leadoff hitter, and then two errors.
It builds the pressure, and then, it's that much less you can afford to make any kind of mistake. And the Mounties have shot themselves in the foot here with a couple of miscues in the field, and they now trail it 2-1. Dean with a no ball and 1 strike count. Espinoza with a quick look, and now she's ready. Here's the pitch. Fouled back again. Dean in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes, but this is exactly what happened her first time up. She was able to work her way back for the walk. Espinoza, for her part, would love to finish the punch out here.
That's when the coach is saying in her mind, K, 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 K.
The infield in at all 4 positions. Mounties already feeling like they can't allow any more. Just outside. Good eye from Samantha Dean, a ball and 2 strikes.
Sun really bad now if you're a right fielder, right side of the infield.
Rosso out in right field. Already saw Miranda Larios have trouble with the throw at first base. High pop, out of play. Dean staying alive.
I love the sound of aluminum in the early evening.
Dean, a strikeout victim 16 times on the season. That also leads College of San Mateo. But she's done a terrific job so far here tonight, fighting off pitches with 2 strikes on her. See if she can do it here. Here's the 1-2. Paints the outside corner. Dean down on strikes. Terrific pitch from Raquel Espinoza. And a huge strikeout. And I think we got a bit of a theme going here for this game, boys. Some opportunities on both sides. And now it's Espinoza who's trying to wriggle out of a major jam and keep her team in the game.
I tell you, they'd be doing cartwheels if the Mounties can get out of this. Surrender only a pair of runs.
Riccardi will be the batter. That one tailing just outside. Riccardi, a strikeout victim, her first time up.
Shadows make it tough for a hitter right now. Comes out of the sun, goes into the shadows.
1 ball and no strikes, the count on Riccardi. Espinoza rocks and fires. Popped back toward the screen. Strike one.
What were we going to say?
Lauren Quirk would be next. Riccardi can keep this inning alive. And so far through the first 3 innings, I think, Matt, the difference in the game for either team has been the absence of the big 2-out hit that you really feel like might really establish control in this game one way or the other. Will it be Riccardi, perhaps, who can do it for the Bulldogs here with the bases loaded and 2 down? The 1-1 pitch. Popped on the left side, and that will fall for strike 2. A ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, the lack of a hit like you just described, Jeff, with runners in scoring position, that's damaged the Mounties in the first 3 innings.
And it's San Mateo who had the opportunity here in the bottom of the 3rd. But Espinoza came up with a big strikeout, now works on Lexi Riccardi with a count of a ball and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Outside. Riccardi lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Riccardi been very difficult to strike out on the season. 8 walks, just 4 strikeouts. But of course, for the Mounties in this situation, any old kind of an out will do with 2 down. But Riccardi has shown a good eye. Espinoza ready. Here's the pitch. Popped again out of play. More aluminum for you there, Matty.
I love the sound of aluminum.
Well, we are practically in an aluminum stadium here. No shortage of it here.
Sponsored by Alcoa. Is that still a thing, Alcoa aluminum?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen a fantastic finish in a while. I do remember the Alcoa fantastic finish back in the day. 2-2 pitch. Fly ball, center field. Maikai will have it for the out to retire the side. Espinoza wriggles out of the jam, but not before College of San Mateo takes the lead. 2 runs on 1 hit, 2 errors, 3 left on base. We are through 3 complete. San Mateo with a 2-1 lead. It's the 3C2A Softball Championships on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Top of the 4th, and for the first time today, the Mounties will come to the plate trailing 2-1 after a 2-run bottom of the 3rd. Gives the Bulldogs the lead. It'll be Kristen Williams and then the top of the order here in the top of the 4th. Foul ball off the bat of Williams. No balls and a strike. Williams hit by a pitcher first time up. But this is a huge batter here, Matty, with the very dangerous Kayla SAC in the top of the order due up. And if you're Mercer with a 2-1 lead here, you've got to get Williams in this situation.
She would love nothing more, nothing better than a 1-2-3 inning. She has not had one of those. Has stranded 7 through 3.
Off-speed pitch, a little low. A ball and a strike.
But she's been on the defensive the whole game.
What would Mercer give for a 1-2-3 inning? The 1-1 pitch, in on the hand, slow roller to third. Quirk with the strong throw. Retires Williams. One down, and that'll bring up SAC, who's perfect, a single and a walk in 2 trips.
There's that 1/3 of the equation that we were just talking about. The 3-up, 3-down inning for the Bulldogs is certainly something they are striving for. Third of the way there. The speedy SAC.
She's been all over the bases. A walk and a couple of stolen bases in the first, eventually thrown out at the plate on a fielder's choice, and then a base hit in the second, before she was eventually stranded. Mercer tries the inside corner and misses.
And almost scored. That was a bang-bang play at the plate. She was thrown out by Wells.
I want my equalizer, Jeff.
All right, that went over my head. Does that have to do with SAC?
Well,
yeah,
we
got soccer.
We got a chance to see one here. I better hear Proctor Silex when it does.
Oh, of course.
2 balls and a strike on SAC.
And after getting that first out of the inning, the last thing Mercer wants to do is put SAC on first with a free pass.
Line drive, fair ball. SAC on again. This will be extra bases. Rounding second, takes a look at third, but she'll hold up with a double. Well, SAC at second with 1 down after a double. She's now 2 for 2 on the afternoon. And as she showed in the first inning, she's a threat to steal third. Able to steal third back in the first inning. Aaliyah Wilbon will be the batter. SAC has been a one-woman wrecking crew here.
She has.
For the Mounties. Wilbon retired on a pair of fielder's choices her first 2 times up.
She will bunt, I would not be surprised.
Takes a swing at that one, comes up empty, no balls and a strike. 1 down here, SAC at second. The Mounties have had all kinds of difficulty picking up runners in scoring position so far. And they have another opportunity here with Wilbon and Sharik coming up. Here's the 0-1. They try it outside again. This one gets away from Steins. SAC aggressively takes third on the wild pitch. Tell you, SAC was taking a look at home.
She was. She had such a jump. She was already at the shortstop when that ball got away from Steins.
I can feel it, Jeff.
Are you getting ready?
I'm getting ready.
SAC at third with 1 down. Wilbon with an opportunity to pick her up. Outside again. 3 balls and a strike on Wilbon. They're in at all 4 positions for the Bulldogs.
You never know. Wilbon can still put it down.
Soft line drive, snared by Quirk. Everybody will stay put. So Wilbon retired. SAC stays at third. 2 down now, and Jarique will be the batter.
Taylor Jarique.
That was a ball that could have been a little bit of trouble, but you can't teach height. And Lauren Quirk over there.
You can't.
Able to bring that one in.
Wilbon tried to push it past, push it over.
Jarique's
Lauren
1 for
Quirk.
2. Singled and fly to left. Mercer rocks and fires, low, ball 1. Opportunity here for Jarique, the leading run producer for the Mounties on the season, to pick up SAC at third with 2 down. Here's the 1-0.
Perfect
That
pitch.
went in there for a strike. I was waiting for the call from Ronnie Strange. There's a little bit of a delay on that one.
He does.
Keeps me on my toes. Alex Alexander, the umpire at third. Steve Wilson down at first here today. A ball and a strike, the count on Jarique. Mercer into the wind. Here's the pitch. Tries the outside corner, didn't get the call. 2 balls and a strike. Mercer now ready, the 2-1 pitch, fouled back. Count evened up, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jarique. The Mounties with another scoring chance here. They had SAC at third with 1 down, but Mercer trying to wriggle out of another jam, got Wilbon on a pop out. Now working on Jarique. Here's the 2-2 pitch, outside. Full count now on Jarique. Miranda Larios waits on deck. Hard to say if she wants to take chances with Miranda Larios, who hit a rocket off the center field wall her last time up.
And it almost looked like that was a pitch out. It was intentionally outside.
Here's the payoff pitch to Jarique.
Oh.
Fouled down the left field line.
Going for that high stuff.
Jarique in protect the plate mode. But how often do you see a player? How about this for Jarique? 12 home runs and 117 at-bats, 9 walks, only 4 strikeouts. I mean, fantastic.
That's
command of the strike zone. And that makes it a little bit surprising there that it looked like she went after ball 4. Here's the payoff pitch.
Did it again.
Swung again at a ball that looked like it was out of the zone, but Jarique in 2-strike mode, obviously being a little more aggressive. But Mercer has gotten away with a couple of pitches outside the zone.
And Ruby wants to talk. You say, what are you doing? You haven't swung at those all year.
Well, this is a situation you have to believe where Mercer can be somewhat careful with Jarique if she wants to be. With a runner at third and 2 down, has first base open. And it appears right now that she's not wanting to give in and simply go after her with a pitch in the zone. She's tried a couple pitches out of the zone, and Jarique has obliged, but managed to fight him off and stay alive.
I don't think you lose anything by getting her over there on first on a walk. It's a little scary pitching to her with the power she has.
Here's the payoff. Ground ball to short. Wells bobbles, comes up, guns it to first, and gets Jarique at first. That'll retire the side.
Defensive play of the game, Jeff.
No runs, 1 hit. No errors, 1 left on base. The Mounties let another opportunity go by the wayside. We head to the bottom of the 4th. College of San Mateo with a 2-1 lead. It's the 3C2A Softball Championships on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Welcome back to Bakersfield College, Dean and Adegay Stadium. We're looking at the flags at center field, and for those of you unfamiliar with the tradition here at Bakersfield College in the Final Four, there are 4 flags up there, one representing each of the 4 schools. They're all up there today. This is the first day of the state championships. Tomorrow, 2 will be taken down, leaving 2 for Championship Sunday. By the end of the day on Sunday, 1 flag will be remaining, and that's one of the cool little traditions that Bakersfield started here with the flags. Each of the 4 teams gets to take their flag home. One of them will be able to say, this is our state championship banner.
Lauren Quirk will lead things off in the bottom of the 4th after the Bulldogs sent 8 to the plate last inning. And taking a 2-1 lead, fouled straight back. No balls and a strike on Quirk, who flied to center her first time up.
How long have they been doing that, Matt?
All 6 years they've been doing that. Every year that we've been here, they've done that little tradition. It's kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
And it adds to the championship experience. When you win in one of those and you see them pulling the flag down after you've won and yours is the only one left, it's really an amazing experience.
Oh, I bet.
That one bounces in, a ball and a strike now on Quirk. Came in batting .400 on the season. 2 home runs, 37 runs batted in.
You know, we're only in the 4th inning. But how important was it for San Mateo to get out of those jams in the first 3? We're looking back on it now like, wow, they're in trouble. They keep getting people on. But
well,
no.
you just had the sense that it was going to be so meaningful in the game, which team, because it was an opportunity for the Mounties to really put some pressure on and take command early in this one. And when the opportunities go by the wayside, you see it time and again. That bolsters the other team's confidence, as we talked about. It was a momentum swing one way or the other, and right now you have to feel like it rests with the Bulldogs. But it's still a one-run game. Popped into shallow center. SAC moving back, has it for the out.
Well, you just have to take what the game gives you. And they stranded 7 players, Mount San Antonio, in the first 3 innings. Yep. That is what the game gave each of them. San Mateo capitalized when they put 2 runs up last inning.
And, of course, it's easy to forget, but let's recall that in the bottom of the 3rd, the Bulldogs had their opportunity to really break this one open. They had 2 runs in, bases loaded, still only 1 out, and they failed to capitalize further. So we're still talking about a 1-run game. So this has been a fascinating opening game here in the championship round. First pitch on the inside corner.
And once again, I mentioned the pitch coming out of the pitcher's hand in sunlight goes into the shade before it reaches home plate.
Yeah, this is a difficult time to hit. See that shadow across, fouled right back this way. So Kotla in a hole now, no balls, 2 strikes. Kotla walked her first time up. Megan Wells, the leadoff hitter, waiting on deck.
Defensive player of the game, that's for sure.
Yeah, Wells has had a terrific game at short. I was going to make the point earlier that you have to be very impressed with Kayla SAC, Wells' opposite number for Mount San Antonio College. Perfect at the plate, and she's made a couple of nice plays in the field as well. So SAC having an outstanding game for the Mounties. That pitch high, a ball and 2 strikes, the count now on Kotla. Well, Espinosa really struggling for much of that 3rd inning. Lifted to shallow right, but Rosso right there. But now starting to settle down again. That's 4 in a row set down for Espinosa as she'll work on Wells. Wells lined to 3rd and had a successful sacrifice. Wells in the postseason, now 6 for 17 with a home run and 3 runs batted in.
Yeah, I remember that home run.
Yeah, taking a look at some of the playoff statistics, getting ready for this ball game here today. And if watching your home runs is your thing, you've been busy this postseason taking a look at the stats down the lineup. First pitch swinging, 1 hopper. Williams over to first to retire the side. Espinosa with a 3-up, 3-down 4th inning. We head to the 5th, 2-1. San Mateo on top of Mount San Antonio College. It's the 3C2A Softball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Miranda Lario set to lead things off for the Mounties. She'll be followed by Mendoza and Bree Maikai against Madison Mercer. The Mounties trail it 2-1 as they bat here in the 5th. Larios 1 for 2, fouled out and doubled in 2 trips. Larios hit it hard to center field, flew it to the wall. Larios gets a little more air under the ball last time up. Might be talking about a home run. Certainly hit it hard enough. Mercer ready. Right back to the box. Mercer up with it. The wide throw. Larios going to be safe and head for second. Looking at third. Larios going to keep going, and she'll make it to third.
A 2-base error for Madison Mercer.
Well, that has to be completely an error because Mercer had plenty of time.
Oh, absolutely.
So is that it really qualifies as a 3-base error, as it turns out.
I guess you're right. Yeah, a 3-base error. 3-base error. A 3-base error.
Well, it had been the Mounties with some struggles in the field, a couple of errors in the 3rd inning that had helped San Mateo to a 2-1 lead, but now it's the Bulldogs who return the favor as Larios ends up at 3rd after the error, and Mendoza will be the batter. First pitch swinging, base hit to left. It's a tie ball game.
And there's the equalizer.
Well, you look at what those errors do. The bases on balls and the errors open up the doors. And a good team is going to take advantage of that
we
more
talked
often
about
than not.
leadoff walks will hurt you, and that's certainly the case. And errors certainly fall in that same category. It is amazing how they will come back to bite you, and you usually don't have to wait long for it to happen. So Mercer gives up the tying run here on the base hit by Mendoza. It's a brand new ball game, tied at 2 here in the 5th.
We're going to make some changes here. You know, Madison Mercer feels worse about it than anybody else. She's been playing this game her whole life. And this is how many times has she made that throw? And she makes a throw that it costs a run.
So they'll huddle up at first base, and
so we got a pinch hitter. Is that what we just saw? Pinch runner.
A runner for Mendoza.
And that's
Sasha Allen.
Sasha Allen. Bree Maikai, center fielder, steps into the box.
Maitai has popped to short and walked. And you know, looking back at that play from Mercer, and we don't have the benefit of replay. This one just foul down the left field line. No balls and a strike on Maikai. And we don't have the ability to go to the replay, but it looked to me as I saw our initial replay of it that Mercer had time, but the throw was just wide. Now I know that the sun can be a bit of a factor over there, but it looked to me that the throw was just wide of Davis at first.
She didn't throw it, she aimed it. She didn't just do what she's done her whole life and just throw it over there. Play catch.
Yeah. Swinging bunt, and the throw to first just in time. So the successful sacrifice, Maikai really getting down the line. Allen moves to second with 1 down, and that'll bring up Alyssa Rosso, who's 0 for 1. Popped to third and walked.
And on that one, as you saw, Mercer a little bit high on the throw. Now she's thinking about it. It's in her head. She's got to get out of it.
Rosso steps in with a runner at second base. She leads the Mounties in runs batted in here in the postseason. Ground ball to short. Wells unable to come up with it cleanly. She'll have no play. Rosso will be on with an error. So now each team has committed a couple of errors here today.
And I'll take the blame for that. I just talked about what a great game she's having out in the field.
Yeah,
so
well,
that's my fault. I am really sorry, Ms. Wells.
Well, I think that, you know, that's a classic situation on a ball hit to Wells where that's a slow roller, and you know that Wells the wheels are turning there, and she knows she doesn't have a lot of time. And it makes it that much more difficult to pick it cleanly. She bobbles it, and everybody's safe.
She's also aware of that runner at second base. Okay,
Yep.
I'm coming up with this. Is she going to go? Do I go all the way to first with that? Especially a pinch runner who is running for a reason.
Yeah, Allen at second, Rosso at first, one down, and Espinoza the batter. Espinoza's 1 for 2, a single and a pop-out. Off-speed pitch outside.
Shadows, I think, really are playing a factor in this with the infield.
Yeah, the
she was
infield-
right at the edge of the sun and the shadow. I don't know that it definitely did, but that's my opinion. And I'm sticking to it.
Fastball lined into right, but right to Zucchiotti, who fires it back to first. Can't double up Rosso at first, but Espinoza retired. Ironically, on probably the hardest hit ball of the inning. With Zucchiotti positioned well, and as you talked about a couple of innings ago, Zucchiotti, for the first time today, able to flash the glove that goes along with the bat. Able to bring that one in, and of course, as we talked about, the way it's designed here at the ballpark here at Bakersfield College, the sun will be a particular problem on the right side right now. So Zucchiotti battling the sun makes the catch, and Williams will be the batter.
Obviously, it's moving lower in the sky, so it's more in your line of sight if you're on the right side of that field.
Yep. And on a line drive, too. But Zucchiotti able to make the catch.
And we've got a pinch hitter.
Yeah, pinch hitting for Williams. It's Mendoza. First pitch high, 1 ball and no strikes.
Oops. Aaron Mendoza coming in 368. Has a home run. 20 runs batted in.
One ball and no strikes. Mercer ready. Ground ball on the left side. Wells into the hole, tries to go to third, and gets the out to retire the side. So Wells redeems herself with a great play to finish the inning, but not before the Mounties tie it up. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 errors, and 2 left on base. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Brand new ball game tied at 2. It's the 3C2A softball championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
Okay.
Bottom of the 5th inning. Ground ball towards short. SAC on the big hop. 1 pitch, 1 out. Kawaki retired. Espinoza continuing to cruise. 6 in a row retired.
Coming to the plate, the catcher, number 17, Ali
Allie Steins will be the batter. Steins perfect on the afternoon, 2 for 2. Steins having a big postseason, 9 for 16 now in postseason play. Off-speed pitch in there for a strike. No balls and 1 strike on Steins. Tied at 2 here in the bottom of the 5th. As Espinoza going to the sleeve. It's like you see sometimes with the quarterback there with the plays. Past Williams and into left field. Steins with a rocket. 3rd single of the day for Allie Steins. And a base runner for the Bulldogs here in the bottom of the 5th.
I gave her an error on that.
Really?
Did Andrew Wheeler give her an error as well, or a base hit?
Okay, I think they're calling that a hit. That is a tough play for Williams.
See, I'm a harsher critic. I think
you're not going to make a lot of you're not going to make a lot of fans among the hitters if you're giving the tough errors. Zucchiotti will be the batter. Zucchiotti's 0 for 2. Fly to left, reached on an error back in the 3rd.
We're making a pitching change.
Well, man, Espinoza battled.
She did.
No question, through 4 1/3. Leaves with the game tied at 2, but she's responsible for Steins at first base.
And she will remain in the lineup for her bat. She's going from the pitcher to the DP, and now they're adding Tiffany Kennedy Cummings, who is the flex player. She will not be batting.
So Kennedy Cummings.
This is where that comes in handy.
Yep.
You leave that bigger bat in, but then and it doesn't cost you a substitute.
So we talked about this earlier. When pitching is a concern, you got 2 pitchers who were in the lineup to begin with, and now you can keep a good bat in the lineup and make the pitching change.
So Kennedy Cummings on. And you know that I had the greatest enthusiasm for giving her numbers, and now I get to do it.
You do it. Go ahead. We're waiting.
Well, I wasn't ready.
Okay, well.
Cummings now making her 30th appearance on the season. Her 13th in relief, a record of 16-1. An ERA of 0.99, 106 and a 3rd innings, 54 hits, 34 walks, and 121 strikeouts. So Kennedy Cummings will come on in a tie ball game here in the bottom of the 5th, and she will start with a very tough assignment, Gabby Zucchiotti, the leading hitter for the Bulldogs. So Kennedy Cummings will go to work on Zucchiotti.
And let's see what kind of pitcher Tiffany is. Let's see what kind of pitches she has. Movement, placement, rise ball.
Fastball lined up the middle, a base hit for Zucchiotti. Well, Zucchiotti went up there with an aggressive mindset, and I think caught Kennedy Cummings trying to get ahead of her there with a fastball down the middle, and Zucchiotti took it right back up the middle for a base hit. 2 on, 1 out, and Davis coming to the plate.
Well, and I said it the first time Zucchiotti came up, I haven't seen a more complete player this year.
Davis,
Zucchiotti.
Meanwhile, maybe the bat that you want up more than anyone right now for College of San Mateo. If you look at the numbers in the postseason, Davis, 10 for 17 with 2 home runs and 12 runs batted in. So I know you talked about a struggle in the second half of the season, and obviously if you widen it out, but she has certainly put it together in the last few games. At least the numbers would suggest.
I think everybody at the Super Regionals for San Mateo had a good ball game.
Yeah. Well, taking a look at the numbers, you take a look at the stats. Davis at 10 for 17 in the postseason isn't even the leading hitter in the postseason. That's Gabby Zucchiotti, who's 10 for 16.
I think they
So
run
that gives you
ruled
some
everybody.
idea.
Everybody except Foothill in the final. And they're,
The bunt popped up on the right side. Easy play for Mendoza to retire Davis. So 2 down. The runners remain at first and second, and Samantha Dean will be the batter.
And here we go. We're going to have another one of those innings where the Mounties are going to get out of danger, just like they've done almost every time.
Yeah, we've talked about the runners left on base for the Mounties. Coming into this inning for the Bulldogs, they had left 5 on base, and they've got 2 on now with 2 outs. So both teams have had some opportunities to take command here. Dean takes the fastball high. 1 ball and no strikes. Dean walked and struck out in 2 trips.
I am the Dean.
In the postseason, Samantha Dean now 4 for 11 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. But no hit would be bigger than 1 here if she can deliver. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Well, I think it's safe to say that Kennedy Cummings has a little bit more velocity than either of the pitchers that we've seen so far.
I agree. But unless that velocity has a little bit of movement on it, good hitters like Zucchiotti can put it right back up the middle.
Yeah, they'll turn it right around. Here's the 2-0. Dean takes that one high and outside. Lexi Riccardi waits on deck. 3 balls and no strikes on Samantha Dean. High drama here in game number 1. It's just the first.
First of many.
A weekend of softball here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. It's the 3C2A Softball Championships. That one called strike 1.
And there's that good mechanics by Strange, making the call verbally to freeze Samantha Dean, then showing us, the rest of us, that sign. Perfect umpire mechanics.
I'm now caught up on that.
Yeah.
I have been properly educated.
We have.
Here's the 3-1. Just high. So Dean works her second walk of the day. The bases are now loaded with 2 down, and Lexi Riccardi will be the batter.
Bulldog at every base. 2-2 tie. Bottom of the 5th. 2 down.
What a situation for Lexi Riccardi. 351 on the season, 3 home runs, 23 runs batted in. And she will come to the plate with an opportunity.
This after the first 3 up, 3 down inning we've had, or half inning we've had the entire game.
Yeah, we're just not comfortable unless we got some runners left on base.
No.
As the ethos of game number 1. So Riccardi up with the bases juiced, 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Kennedy Cummings ready. Here's the pitch. Off speed, high. 1 ball and no strikes.
She has a good array of pitches in her quiver. Has some heat, has some off-speed stuff.
But she hasn't located the breaking ball yet.
Not yet.
To my mind.
Not yet.
Here's the 1-0. In on the hands, great location.
Great velocity.
Yeah, Riccardi able to foul tip it back, but she wasn't going to do anything with that pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Of course, our radar gun broken, or we'd be bringing that to you.
Just eyeball it, Matty.
Okay, here we go. All right.
What do you think?
I'll
Here's the
let you
1-1 pitch.
That was 57.
High pop on the infield.
Great grab.
Jarique has it to retire the side. So it's Kennedy Cummings who comes in and gets out of the jam. No runs, 2 hits, 3 left on base. We are through 5 complete, nothing resolved, tied at 2. It's the 3C2A Softball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Top of the 6th inning. And the top of the order due up for the Mounties, and that means Kayla Sock, who has been a terror for the Mounties today, 2 for 2 with a walk.
Isn't it interesting how many times the leadoff hitter leads off an inning? It's just amazing.
Sock, a single, a double, and a walk in 3 trips. Continues a torrid postseason. She's now 8 for 17 on the postseason. 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in. So she's a danger to go yard as well as she comes in with 9 home runs on the season. First pitch for Mercer over for a strike.
She can sock it right out of here.
That is strong.
It is.
That's
I hesitated the whole
talent
game. I wasn't
right
going to do that.
How long you been waiting to drop that
I
one?
let myself
I'm
down.
impressed.
I let myself down on that. I wasn't going to do that.
Here's the 0-1 from Mercer. Just foul. So Sock quickly in a hole now. No balls and 2 strikes.
I'm just glad I haven't said anything quirky yet about quirk.
I'm just going to let that one go.
Good.
I got it. Listen.
Well, I'm done now.
It's a long weekend. You're not finished.
I'm done.
Sock in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Mercer ready, rocks and fires. Slow roller to short, Wells charges. Strong throw, gets Sock. 1 down, Wilbon will be the batter. Well, Wilbon has come up 3 times with Sock on base. And she's come up empty, 0 for 3.
Maybe she will reach
see if she turns it around with a different dynamic here. She's got the bases empty.
She's going to blame it all on Kayla Sock. If you weren't getting on, I'd be hitting hits.
Not too often you see too many batters saying, whatever you do, don't get on base in front of me if you can possibly avoid it.
You're killing my average.
Wilbon had been on fire in the postseason. She's now 10 for 20. Swinging bunt, barehanded by Quirk. Wilbon really getting down the line, but the throw beats her by a quarter step. Quickly 2 down, and that'll bring up Taylor Jarique, who's 1 for 3.
I was just looking at the stats on the season for Jarique. She's leading the team in doubles, home runs, runs batted in, slugging percentage. That's not bad.
Mercer rocks and fires outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Ten left on base for the Mounties so far in this game. 2 down, bases emptied here for Jarique. Off-speed pitch, low and outside. But clearly that's been a storyline in a 2-2 game. And I think, Matt, to be fair, I think you got to give a pitcher like Madison Mercer a lot of credit. She's been outstanding all season. And big-time pitchers have a way of getting out of jams and making big pitches at big moments.
That's why they're here.
Yeah. So, it's one thing to talk about the missed opportunities, but obviously you don't want to short shrift the effort here by Mercer and what that means in a situation like this. So 3 balls, no strikes, the count on Jarique as Mercer electing to work carefully. Fastball pops the glove, but it's ball 4. So Jarique with a 2-out walk. Mounties will see if they can make something of that. Meanwhile, that is the 4th walk issued by Mercer.
Larios reached last inning on that disastrous throw from Mercer to Jordan over at first base. Davis unable to come up with it as it was wide.
One thing potentially to keep in mind for San Mateo is that Mercer, unlike for the Mounties, Mercer will almost certainly get the call in every game that San Mateo plays this weekend. And if they don't win this game, that would mean that Mercer might be called in to pitch as many as 4 games in 2 days.
Yeah.
And she's had to throw a lot of pitches here in this game. So it might be even more important. Obviously, this is tremendous shades here between, because it's obviously very important for both teams, but it might be even more important for San Mateo. I can't see how they can afford to lose here and then have Mercer, who's already gone deep into the pitch count today, pitch 4 games in 2 days. Off-speed pitch in there for a strike. A ball
Well-
and 2 strikes the count now on Larios.
She hasn't had an inning without a base runner, and that's just a lot of pitches to throw. Stranded 9, Mount San Antonio has.
Yeah.
8 for San Mateo. 17 runners left.
That one bounces in. Jarique breaking for second, and she'll make it. So a runner in scoring position, 2 down, and a 2-2 count on Miranda Larios.
Runner in scoring position. Familiar territory from Mount SAC.
Yeah. Well, why should this inning be different than
Yeah.
any other inning here so far
You're
today?
right.
In fact, literally every other inning.
Yeah, except for
Well-
one half inning.
And wouldn't it be ironic if they picked up the run here in the most benign of rallies? Soft line drive. Zucchiotti can't handle it. The Mounties have the lead. Well, amidst all these scoring opportunities that had come early in innings, multiple runners on base, the Mounties take the lead on the most benign of rallies after 2 were out, a walk, a wild pitch, and a sinking line drive off the bat of Larios, and the Mounties have a 3-2 lead.
And Zucchiotti trying to make a valiant effort out there to come up with that ball just out of her reach. It's in that territory where sometimes the first baseman will go after that. I mean,
Mendoza grounds it to first. Davis will take it herself to retire the side. Sorry, Maddie.
That's
we'll
all
get
right.
back to that when we return for the bottom of the 6th. The Mounties closing in. They now lead it 3-2 here in the 3C2A Softball Championships on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Pinch hitter set to lead things off in the bottom of the 6th inning. Carissa Felix. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's correct that. So it's a defensive change. It'll be Lauren Quirk set to lead things off, followed by Emily Kotla, and then the top of the order, Megan Wells.
And now that the Mounties have a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 6th, let's see if that pitching move that Ruby Rojas made for the Mounties is going to pay off with Tiffany Kennedy Cummings now in the circle.
Yeah, Kennedy Cummings, the pitcher of record, will now try to wrap things up. The last couple of innings. High pop on the first pitch. 1 down, and Kotla will be the batter. So Kotla fly to right and walked in 2 trips.
Now batting the number 9 hitter, left fielder, Emily Kotla.
So Carissa Felix comes in at third base to replace Kristen Williams. First pitch in on Kotla, and it looked like it might have hit her. Haven't seen an indication yet.
Bring it up on replay.
So let's go to the replay. Let's take a look real quick. And that was in tight, but going to say that Kotla was able to get out of the way. Not sure you want to take that one for the team.
I
That's
think
a
you
fastball
should.
from Tiffany Kennedy Cummings.
I think she should have just headed down to first and tried to.
Showing bunt, and the fastball on the outside corner evens the count at a ball and a strike.
This is the Final Four. You know, a little misdirection and deception is called for.
Kennedy Cummings, who came in last inning, proceeded to get in a jam, but worked her way out of it without allowing a run as the Bulldogs stranded 3. And then the Mounties broke through with a 2-out rally to take a 3-2 lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th. A ball and 2 strikes on Kotla.
What are we up to? 18 runners left on base between the two teams?
I want to say it's 19. I think it's 11 now for the Mounties because they left one on last inning. But in the most important stat, they've got the 3-2 lead.
That's all that matters.
2 balls on Kotla.
And Jeff, another important stat is the temperature. It's not that hot anymore.
It's nice. Boy, I love when the sun goes down. Here's the 2-1. Pop foul. So count evened up on Kotla. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pretty good game 1 here. First of 2 tonight. We'll have Cypress and San Joaquin Delta in the nightcap.
Cypress coming in 45-0, undefeated.
Can they break the curse? That is the question, though.
The third team to come down here undefeated, yeah.
Kennedy Cummings into the line. Here's the pitch. Pop back into the screen.
San Joaquin Delta, a pugnacious team. You know, you look at the stats, they probably have the, on paper, you know, what they're here. You know, what does paper mean? But on paper, their stats are among the lowest of the 4 in a lot of different categories, offensively and defensively.
You look at the other 3, and it's a who's who and what's what of leading in categories, pitching and defense and hitting all across the board. Swung on and missed. Kotla down on strikes. 2 up, 2 down here in the 6th. That'll bring up Wells, who's 0 for 2 and had a successful sacrifice.
Which speaks to the runner stranded in a 3-2 game. The only thing that matters is the score. Yeah, Delta on paper doesn't look good. They're here. They win. Pugnacious.
And we've seen that translate into championships. It's
Yes, we
a
have.
short run here. It's a double elimination one weekend, and everybody's live. So Wells taking a little time. Now she'll dig in. Kennedy Cummings kicks and delivers. Sky high to center. Mai Kai moving in and has it to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Tiffany Kennedy Cummings. We head to the 7th. The Mounties trying to slam the door. They lead at 3-2 here on SoCalCollegeSports.com.
You know, Jeff, it's really important that the Bulldogs keep this a one-run game when they bat in the bottom of the 7th. They've got their 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up, Kawaki, Steins, and Zucchiotti.
Yeah, one more chance for Steins and Zucchiotti at the very least for the Bulldogs in a 3-2 game. Meanwhile, it's Maikai, Rosso, and Espinoza due up in the top of the 7th, where the Mounties will try to extend on the one-run lead. Maikai, 0 for 1, popped to short, walked, and had a sacrifice bunt. First pitch in there for a strike.
You know, every time I see Maikai step to the plate, when I went to Humboldt State, the apartments I stayed in my 2 years there were the Maikai apartments.
Well, it's been a game of small world here.
It
With
has.
Mike
It's
going to middle
amazing.
school with one of the coaches, and
Yeah,
you know, a little bit of strangeness.
strangeness. Just
One
like the
ball
game.
and 1 strike the count. Well, they're going to appeal down, and they'll say that Maikai did not go around. So a ball and a strike the count on Bree. Mercer has battled through 6 innings. It's been a struggle. Right now she trails at 3-2. Chopped over to second. Dean with the short throw will get Maikai for the first out here in the 7th. Rosso, 0 for 2. Also walked.
Brings up the right fielder, number 2, Alyssa Rosso.
Well, how unusual. The first batter for the Mounties is retired in an inning.
It has not happened often. Off-speed pitch, pulled foul.
She needs to go get around on that one next time.
The leadoff hitter has reached in actually only 3 of 7 innings, but
It just
certainly-
seems like
yes.
more. Maybe
Well,
it's the second one
yeah,
that gets off.
one of the first 2 runners has reached in almost every inning.
Thank you for providing the
Yeah, well,
insight there. I'm
No,
no, I'm
it's-
glad.
I had the
appreciate
same.
it.
I had the same feeling. Obviously, we've seen a lot of base runners for the Mounties, but they have just been able to put runners on in every inning, somewhere along the line. And ironically, as we talked about, it was after 2 were out. One of the late rallies, the only late rallies that they've had in this whole game, gave them the lead in the top of the 6th. Off-speed pitch inside.
We've had only 2 half innings that were 3 up, 3 down.
Did we even have 2?
We had 2.
I remember one.
We had 2. We had last inning.
And then, 4th or 5th inning, I want to say, for San Mateo.
4th. Yep. San
Fourth
Mateo
and the
4th,
sixth.
San Mateo 6th.
It's about as eventful of a 3-2 game as you're going to see.
Yeah. Lots of action.
3 balls and a strike now, the count on Rosso.
It's funny. I called a Mount SAC San Mateo football championship at San Mateo a couple years ago in the driving rain, and it was 7-6. Best 7-6 game I ever saw. Small world.
Well, you always love football in the elements. Placed perfectly, a base hit to right for Rosso.
Zucchiotti could not get that out of her glove. May have had a chance at first.
So Rosso with the 1-out base hit. That'll bring up Espinoza, who's 1 for 3.
The Bulldogs want to turn 2 here, get out of this inning, get their big bats into action in the bottom of the 7th, trailing by 1.
Designated player number 34, Raquel
Espinoza,
Espinoza.
a .438 hitter coming in with 4 home runs, and that in part-time duty. That one fouled over toward the dugout and out of play.
Part-time duty because she's in the circle.
Yeah, exactly. The home run ratio, 4 home runs and 48 at bats, that's as good as anybody on the team. So she's a threat with the bat to be sure. Down in the count now, no balls and 1 strike with Rosso at first and 1 down. Tries the inside corner again and gets it. So no balls, 2 strikes quickly on Espinoza.
Umpire Strange has been pretty consistent with that inside strike all game long. That's all you can ask for out of these umpires is to be consistent.
Here's the pitch from Mercer. Driven to left. Kotla in front of the track has it for the out. 2 down. And a runner on first. And Carissa Felix will come to the plate
Batting with 2 outs and 1 on.
for the Mounties.
Third base number 22, Carissa Felix.
Felix comes in batting .396. A home run, 15 runs batted in. Felix has been seeing more time at third base here in the postseason, as Williams got her first start at third here today. It had been Felix manning the position for much of the first 2 rounds. First pitch in there for a strike. No balls and a strike. Here's the pitch. Chopper towards short. Wells thought about going to second, now has no play.
Well, well, well.
Is that going to go down as an error?
It's got to.
Got to be quicker than that.
She made indecision. She should have made a decision to go either way. We got an E6 on that.
Well, I think you give Rosso some credit, too. Obviously got a great jump towards second. Wells gets caught in between hops, takes it on the second hop, and Rosso just flat beat the ball to second, and there was nowhere for Wells to go. So the error puts 2 on with 2 out, and it gives Kayla SAC, who's been the offensive hero here today, an opportunity. First pitch high. Well, that can't be what you wanted if you're Madison Mercer wanting to get out of this inning. Now you got to work on Kayla SAC, who's 2 for 3 with a walk.
A 1-run game with your big bats coming up is manageable. More than that, you really got to, come up
you're
with
working
something.
on Tiffany Kennedy Cummings, an ERA under 1. Hot shot to third. Quirk will step on the bag to put out the threat. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 2 left on base. We head to the bottom of the 7th. The Bulldogs will try to stay alive. The Mounties lead it 3-2. It's the 3C2A Softball Championships here on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Heading to the bottom of the 7th. 3 outs left for the Bulldogs, and they trail it 3-2, but they have the heart of the order coming up. Kawaki, Steins, and Zucchiati as Tiffany Kennedy Cummings tries to close it out for the Mounties.
Let's get some crowd love when there's a break in action.
What'd you call
First
this,
pitch
Mike?
fouled off.
The filet mignon of the order?
Yeah, the filet mignon of the order. That's what I call the meat of the order.
What if you like New York's?
You've always
or
been a
ribeyes?
gourmet.
I could say it's the Chicago ribeye of the order.
There you go.
Kawaki's 0 for 3 on the day.
Story being a Chicagoite or former Chicagoite. Would appreciate that.
I'll always be a Chicagoite. Foul back to the screen. No balls, 2 strikes on Kawaki.
Do you have a good Harry Carey impersonation?
There's too many good ones out there.
That's
I can't.
true.
South side or north
Mine
side?
just ends up being a poor Will Ferrell imitation of,
South side or north side of Chicago?
North side.
Evanston area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you have
That's
it.
where my mom was from. Small world. It's amazing.
Really, talk about a theme for game number 1. Here's the 0-2 to Kawaki. Lifted towards center. Long run for Mai Kai, but she tracks it down. One down, and that'll bring up Allie Steins. Maikai flashes the range in center field, moving to her right.
Yeah, she moves like a gazelle. Just great athleticism out there, makes it play. One down.
So Steins has had a big day at the plate. Perfect 3 for 3. Needs to get on base here for the Bulldogs, down to their final 2 outs. Kennedy Cummings ready. Here's the pitch on the inside corner.
Show us the winning team, obviously.
Steins having a monster postseason with 10 hits in 17 at-bats. Fly ball left field, long run for Wilbon. Tremendous catch! Wilbon up against the wall. Reaches out and robs Steins of extra bases.
I want to see that again.
See if we can get the replay up on that one. What a play by Wilbon in left field. It's a long run, but then and we didn't quite get it on that angle, but she has to reach out and stab that ball. And the stakes so very high, Maddie, in a one-run game.
And here comes the NorCal Player of the Year.
Zucchiotti with 2 down and the base is empty. Swings at the first pitch, fouls it away on the left side.
And when you're the Player of the Year, this is the stage you want to be on. Game on the line, 2 down, bottom of the 7th. Game 1 of the 2017 Softball State Championship.
But I think if you're Zucchiotti, you'd love to be up there with 1 on and a runner at second.
Yeah.
Instead, thanks to Aaliyah Wilbon, it's 2 down and base is empty. No balls and a strike. Kennedy Cummings.
She can hit it over the right field fence.
Now ready. Here's the pitch.
Swing
Big
and a
swing
miss.
and miss.
Woo! I had to say it with you.
Yeah, that was off speed. Kennedy Cummings taking something off, and obviously with the kind of velocity she has, that's going to be very effective. And she had Zucchiotti off balance. Where do you go here? No balls and 2 strikes.
You don't give her anything to hit is what you go with.
Here's the 0-2. Swung on and missed. Zucchiotti down on strikes. Kennedy Cummings, with a little help from the defense behind her, closes it out. The Mounties win game 1, 3-2. We'll step aside, come back, wrap things up here in game 1, get you ready for game 2. It's the 3C2A Softball Championships on SoCalCollegeSports.com. Three to two, the final in game number 1. Mount San Antonio College moves on in the winner's bracket for College of San Mateo. a heartbreaking loss here, and they will be back in action tomorrow, and they'll need to come up big, Matthew, needing to win 4 in 2 days. But for the Mounties, really opportunities early, and you thought maybe it was going to get away from them, but give them a lot of credit. They kept on giving themselves chances, made the most of it, and then closed the door with some great defense in the 7th inning.
They stranded 12 runners and still came out with a 3-2 win. Anytime you do that, you got to be happy that you're moving on when you strand that many runners. San Mateo, on the other hand, they're going to have to come from behind. This is their 5th straight visit. They do not want to go home empty-handed again, but they're going to have to really pull it together.
Yeah, if there's anything to look for in terms of good news or possible good news for College of San Mateo, that is your experience here of late is that usually we're talking about 7 games. So it is not unheard of here to come out of the loser's bracket, particularly in this event. It would seem in recent history we've seen it done. So obviously the Bulldogs will go back to work tomorrow, but they've got a long road to hoe. Let's turn our attention to game number 2, and Mike will talk about Cypress coming in. And obviously this is a fascinating matchup here. As Matt talked about in game number 1, a pugnacious San Joaquin Delta squad. Maybe don't blow you away with the numbers, and then on the opposite side, a team that, well, let's face it, blows you away with the numbers in Cypress College coming in undefeated.
Oh, blows you away with the numbers. Coach Fisher and Pickler in pregame had a chance to talk with them. Some great conversations there. And Coach Fisher, talked about his bunch. Pugnacious, great word. He said scrappy.
Yeah.
It's a sophomore-laden team. They have 6 of their core players back from last season, and they're looking to make a mark here at the 3C2A 2017 championships here at Bakersfield College. So trying to make a name for themselves, but a tall order. 45-0, Cypress comes in, best team in the state, and they're looking to break the curse. Of course, we know that 2 teams have come up here undefeated, and they have finished runner-up both times. And, Coach Pickler and company, it's probably the most storied program in the state of California on the softball level. And I got to tell you, they look really, really good.
What are the chances that they're aware of that, of the 2 teams, and they know that stat?
Probably fairly aware.
Yeah.
Well, and what's amazing is all 3 teams are here this weekend.
Yeah.
You have in 2011 you had Delta here. In 2015 you had San Mateo here.
And now it's Cypress. But as you talked about, that's what often happens here. Part of the fascination of this event is that you see some teams coming back year after year. We will rejoin you for game number 2. That'll be just after 8:30. So obviously stick around. Step aside, come back, but we will have that game for you in 45 minutes.
Yeah,
so
go to our
let's
website.
make that point.
Yeah, go to our website, www.SoCalCollegeSports.com. You can also go to the 3C2A website, CCCAASports.org. All the links on the scoreboard. You can find the homepage there for the softball championships. We will be here the entire weekend, the whole SoCalCollegeSports.com crew. We're happy that you've joined us. Be sure to tell your friends and family that we will be broadcasting every game live, and all the games are going to archive to YouTube. So if you didn't catch all of the game, you only catch maybe the last few innings, you can go back, you can watch the entirety of this broadcast and the rest of the broadcast throughout the weekend, and that'll do it for game 1. Jeffrey.
If you like one play, you can watch it over and over and over and over. So I had to do it. So it's a little bit big. We like our movie references here. So
we really do.
Again, to recap, game number 1, Mount San Antonio College, a thrilling 3-2 win. They will move on in the winners bracket. College of San Mateo back in action in the losers bracket. That does it for game number 1. We'll rejoin you for game number 2 at 8:30. So come back and join us then. For Matt Folsom, Mike Zapata, Matt Henson, everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you at 8:30.